I think that we all have the wrong idea of how to worship dragons. Because how do you worship even dragons? Are there several ways to worship dragons? Because don't have established rules how to awake or how to worship dragons, and how do they actually desire to be worshipped. In fact, the first thing that you have to know that dragons don't ask for worship. So I never encountered or never had a brother or a sister who said, I need to worship him or her. But worship comes natural. So I worship dragons in a natural way. And a natural way that is that no one actually knows how to worship my dragon, and that nobody could say to me that I should have worshipped my dragon. And but I did anyway. But it's a natural feeling, natural instinct. Nobody told me to worship dragons, and that is how you know where your light is. If you wonder, and how do you want to know where your light is actually? Because all of this world is actually all Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, and whatever. There is no in between. And there is, in fact, in reality, there is so much in between that you have to follow and rely on your instincts, on how your light is actually made, where your light is actually made of, what it's established. Because there are thousands of lights, and where you belong is actually where you are triggered at. And that is how I could know that my light belongs to the dragons, even though my face is that of a human. But what it lies around us is actually, and inside of us, is belonging into that light, that gate. So we actually don't need, and that is typically human. How do I worship? How I should do this? The first thing that I actually did was kneeling down, but I should not kneel down. And the other thing that I did is actually to make a table that is dedicated to them. So, and this is not a table of gold and wealth. No, I think, oh, this is beautiful. I'm going to give it to my dragon. Put it on the table, and that was it. That was how I worship them. It's like, here, dragon, I love you, and I want to give this to you. Simple. That is so simple. And but once it's been given to the dragon, it's always going to be given to the dragon. Keep that in mind. If you give this to your dragon, it's always going to be for them. So when you give a gift for the dragon, that is a gift. That is not, oh, can I have it back? No, it's going to be blessed. It's going to be possessed a bit, like. But some people just could not. If people want to get it, don't, because it's the dragons now. So, and that is how dragons are. They really want to take. If you give them something to them, it's going to be forever for them. And that is how dragons are. Dragons are very. They don't laugh with this. They are very serious when they have a gift or something else as well. If you give yourself to the dragon, that is also not a laughing matter. It's a one-time action that you do for them, an action that you do inside of a ritualistic way. So, but once you give yourself to the dragon, you're always going to be the dragon's property. So that is how dragons are. Dragons are. They don't laugh with things like this. And so, if you wonder yourself, how do I worship dragons? Well, don't take a book. Don't take that. Don't just throw it away. Listen to your instincts and rely on that feelings that you have. You have draconic kind of senses. You somewhere knows. You know where you should. You know where you want to, how you can please your dragon, because you are very much connected to your dragon, and you know how you can please your dragon. So no one knows your dragon much better than yourself. So you just need to wonder yourself, what do I like? What do I like very much? And maybe because like I said, I love nature. I love the trees, and I love it. I find it beautiful. And what else to give beauty to another beauty of yourself? That is how you worship dragons. Not only to give them gifts, but simply to say, you cannot force yourself anything like this. And that is a beautiful, most beautiful gift of it all. You cannot force yourself, and yet you have the thought and mind of loving your dragon, and you say this to them. A simple, you know, you cannot give a physical hug, but you can give it a spiritual hug. You can give your dragon a spiritual hug, and nothing else than that is actually worth more than wealth and gold. You just need to say to your dragon how much you love them, how much you desire for them, and that is the greatest gift that you can give. That is how you actually should worship dragons. No, and most of the time, better to do that in a ritualistic way, very rich, and use your not imagination, but use your creativity, and that is all you need for your rituals. You need your creativity. Being creative is everything on the dragon's path, because the dragon is here in spirit, not in flesh and blood. So you want to give them energy, but you also want to give them some kind of a present, because yeah, that is. I'm going to be very honest. I worship the dragon every day. I worship Tiamat every day. I worship Leviathan every day. I worship them all the time. Not by doing like, oh, no, but by being myself. Simply by being myself. Because in this world, we are a bit like misguided. We are very much misguided, and we are so much misguided inside of our dragon's path because of religions. Religions are very much misguiding us, saying that gods need wealth, gods need books, gods need rituals that are established, gods need this and gods need that. Gods, actually, true gods, they don't need anything, because they are already all powerful. They created life just like that. And that is what Tiamat as well did. She created life with her body, simply as that, because the other lesser gods couldn't create life, but she could create life. The dragon goddess. She can come before you as half human, half dragon. She can come before you as a mother, or maybe as a full dragon, or maybe as a full human. Tiamat, Leviathan, and all of the other dragon gods, they can come before you how they desire it, how they read your mind, and the best way to come before you. And that is what I see as my greatest worship of the dragon. I gave myself as some kind of a sacrifice, but not a sacrifice of death. I made a sacrifice of life. How did I do it? I laid myself down before my dragon altar, spread my legs, spread my arms, and I just said, I am yours. Everything I own is yours. And I meant it. I was serious. It was not in a ritualistic way. I was ready to be taken away by them. And eventually, the entire room changed. I waited not minutes, but it was longer. I had all the time. I had all the time for them to come, and I knew that they were there. My dragon, Tiamat, they were there. They were surrounding me, pinning me down on that floor, and I couldn't move anymore because I was serious. It was in a ritualistic way, but I was serious. I was ready to give myself to all of the dragons that are surrounding me, and they didn't come in vain, because that is what actually later on I managed to talk about it. Because before this ritual, I was afraid to talk about it, but after I was, pinned down by all of my dragon of my dragon eyes, the dragons of my dragon eye, they were all surrounding me, pinning me down on that ground, while my dragon on Tiamat just touched my body. I could feel that the energy was amazing. It was a ritual that I cannot describe in words. So if you actually, and I cannot say this because every path is different and every dragon is different. So I cannot say this. Yeah, you should do this. I don't know. I cannot say this. But I wanted to do this. I wanted to give myself away to the dragon. And what kind of a greater gift can you give your dragon than your own self? Because that is how a ritual works. I mean, to give something to them, some kind of that you wanted to say them how much you love them. That is how dragon worship is. Dragon worship is actually a confirmation of how much you love your dragon. And your dragon is there actually to listen to that. Your dragon wants to listen to that, and the more, if it's actually real, if it's legit, and then your mind is at the same level. You cannot lie to the dragons, and you cannot force yourself anything on a dragon's path, because your dragon is reading your mind. And so if you are not serious, then nothing will happen. but I was 1000% serious in how much I want to worship the dragons. And they knew it. They very much knew it because I was at the same level as my mind, as my mouth was, I was thinking. I was at the same level, and I was giving everything away. If I died at that moment, if the dragons would have killed me or something like this, I would have taken it with a smile on my face. That is how dedicated I am to the dragon's path, to my dragon's path. Because I used to be skeptic. I didn't believe in ghosts and spirits or even dragons until that day in November 28, 2005, that I encountered a dragon. And not just simply encountered, there is another story about it, something much more about it, where you are involved into this story of the dragon. Sometimes it's always going to be a different story. That is why it's so difficult actually to explain to you something about the dragon's path, because it's so different from your path and my path. It's going to be different. Every dragon is going to be different. So it's actually very difficult to explain in how it is. But the thing is, if you want to worship dragons, then the only thing that you have to rely on is your heart, your mind, and your draconic spirit. That is the only thing that you need. The only thing that you need is actually to rely on yourself, to trust yourself, and that your love is legit for the dragon. And that you don't have to fear anything. You don't have to fear to do something wrong. There is nothing wrong on the dragon's path. The only thing that you can do is to explore and try to know what is going on, because there is no instructions. This is not a religion where you know everything. No, this is a story, a story about you and your dragon, and nothing else. I am just decoration. Even if there are brothers and sisters, it's not their story that is being told. You are born with a dragon eye, and this dragon eye is all about you and your dragons. And if you want to worship your dragons, then find a way and be creative into finding a way how much you love them. That is the only thing that you need in worshiping dragons.